Well, hello. Welcome to the 24th episode of the Mobuku Chronicles. And it is Sunday night here where I am located at around 9 p.m. on June the 8th of the year 2014 AD. And it is about 3 months, as I said the last time. I would probably be about 3 months unless something really big happened. That was, as I put it in the last episode, it was kind of in your face, and the phony windbags called MSM, that is mainstream media, wouldn't be able to cover it up. And nothing of that kind transpired, despite the fact that well, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes which are not being reported in the mainstream media. And what I want to talk about first of all tonight is the whole thing with the gold and silver market, because, to reiterate, and there's no harm in repeating that gold and silver are our, shall we so speak, our insurance policy as far as people living in America go, at any rate, because the rest of the world, as I put it last time, the sovereign nations, for the most part, are of the opinion that the federal government is a rogue government, and they want to distance themselves as much as they possibly can from the dollar regime, dollar hegemony, which is being put in place by the Federal Reserve since its inception in 1913. And Jim Willie and I've reported on this before in various past episodes about how the BRICS, and now BRICS and Associates, have been setting up a trading settlement, worldwide trading settlement platform, which is designed to bypass the use of the dollar. They want to get rid of their dollars because when I say dollars, I mean U.S. Treasuries, because they know full well that the U.S. Treasury is fundamentally worthless, and they want to dump as much as they can surreptitiously and accumulate gold and silver at the same time. Now, this trading platform that they've set up, and it's been in process. They've been working on it for like the last 3 or 4 years, and the major source that Jim Woody has to inform him about this situation with regard to this BRICS trading platform is that it is going to be implemented, and it is based on silver and gold, primarily as the collateral that one will need to be able to participate in the trading settlement for trading worldwide. And it will also probably include oil, and probably the ruble and the yuan, which is the Chinese currency. And the voices always said that this thing is ready to go and it's waiting for a trigger. They're waiting for something to happen, which is kind of event driven, It would have to be event-driven, and when this event-driven episode takes place, it will be the signal to, so to speak, pull the trigger and implement this trade settlement platform operated by the Brazilians and the Russians and the Indians and the Chinese and the South Americans, plus various associates that have joined on board since over the course of the past, year or two. And so that then worldwide trade, and the major players include the Shanghai Cooperative and the Eurasian Trade Zone, and of course, it's, if anybody who's been paying attention knows that Russia and China have been, so to say, cooperating in making deals having to do with the settlement of the exchange of oil and gas for yuan and rubles. And the whole Ukrainian situation was just essentially it was set up by the black hats in the CIA, and also George Soros, the billionaire, has been behind this thing, and it was an operation that was instigated by the black hats, fundamentally to steal the gold in the Ukraine, which they airlifted overnight about 40 tons out of there, and for all their billionaires, they'd abscond with their ill-gotten gains. And I'm not going to talk about the Ukrainian situation because it's really, to me, it is I wouldn't call it a red herring exactly. It is really, if you want to put it succinctly from my perspective, from what I've been reading, is the axis of the United States, or should I say the useless states, and the British and the Israelis to basically shoot themselves in the foot, fundamentally. That's what I think it is. And anyway, so the thing is that the reason that I'm bringing the gold and silver up is because there has been something going on in China, which was being reported by Zero Hedge, for at least a year now, a warning about this. And it came to, shall we say, a head last Monday. And I'm going to read a piece here by a man who I've mentioned before, Bill Holter, and he his offerings I get mainly. He writes for a guy called Miles Franklin, who I believe his website is, Miles Franklin's website is called The Money Changer. I may be wrong there, but anyway, Harvey Organ, he started placing Bill Holter's commentaries on his harveyorgan.blogspot.com, which is called the Silver and Gold Report, which is, he puts out daily, every trading day. And he wrote a piece this last week where he said, as a preface, that it's probably the most important piece that he has ever written in his time. He's been a commentator and an active investor for probably 20 or 30 years. And this piece, and I'm going to read pretty much extensively from it because it will give you a reason to believe that buying gold and silver, which I hope you've been doing since I've been the inception of the Mobuku Chronicles in February of 2011. Of course, the price has gone down since then, which has only given you better opportunities to purchase more with your hard-earned dollars that you have, shall we say, a surplus of. And this piece goes on. We have wondered and scratched our heads as to how demand, that is worldwide demand, mainly from the East, mainly not just East, I mean from China and Japan and India and also the Middle East and Russia, the demand, and also from Mexico and various other central banks, how demand could dwarf supply and yet the price drop, because it has dropped. You know, it was at $49 silver an ounce, and now it's 19 as of when I last looked at it, which was around 6 o'clock, because you know the access market opens at around 3 o'clock on Sundays. You know, and then of course the eastern markets open up before the New York and before the London and the New York markets open up in the morning. So that the price drop has dropped $30 an ounce in that period of time, and in the face of unprecedented demand, both for silver and gold. You know, as far as for investment purposes, I mean, dramatic. I mean, there's sales of silver eagles and Canadian eagles. I mean, Canadian silver coins has gone through the roof. I mean, we're going to set an all-time record again this year, based on current demand. So what is happening in China right now may very well explain it mechanically. The mechanics, however, now seem to be moving into the reverse because of fraud. What was previously sold that did not exist now must be bought, yet still does not exist, and is even a smaller relative pool of obtainable commodity. We are potentially facing a margin call in reverse in the gold and silver markets. That the day that none available becomes the reality could have happened very rapidly and without notice. I think we now have an answer. Another day, another scandal. No, I'm not talking about the White House, where it seems that another scandal promptly comes along to distract your attention from the current scandal. No, I'm talking about an investigation into China's port of Qingdao base metals warehouse. I have written about this topic before. One avenue of credit creation is the shadow banking system, this is in China, that uses warehouse receipts as collaterals for credit. It appears that some metal is missing or unaccounted for, and this after rumors have alleged that much of the metal has been rehypothecated as many as 10 times over. Now, hypothecation